The Busan International Film Festival, BIFF, 2025 is not only a stage for 328 films from 64 countries but also a rare platform for Son Ye Jin, one of Korea's most beloved actresses, to share deeply personal reflections. At the Actors House Talk session on September 18 at Hyun Theater in Hyundai, Son Ye Jin opened up about her career, her inner struggles after marriage and motherhood, and the hopes she carries into the future. When Korea's first love confronted the ghost of youth, Son Ye Jin began by revisiting her 20s, a time when most actresses desperately try to hold on to youth. But unlike many of her peers, she longed to grow older, and quickly. I wanted to play mature, complex roles, to explore deeper emotions rather than the awkwardness and uncertainty of youth. In some ways, I was an old soul from the start, she confessed. This explains why Son Ye Jin always seemed years ahead of her age in films like the classic, 2003, or Crash Landing on You, 2019. Yet behind the polished performances lay a relentless drive that bordered on self-punishment. Ambition and passion pushed me forward. I worked until I collapsed, then stood up again. It was painful at times, but that hunger to do better brought me here. Marriage, turning point or source of insecurity? What truly surprised the audience was Son Ye Jin's candid admission of post-marriage anxieties. Marrying Hyun Bin, one of Korea's top actors, and becoming a mother may look like the perfect fairy tale ending. But behind the picture of happiness lies a deeply human fear: would the audience still embrace her? After getting married and having a child, I wondered if people would still come to see my work. Could I still act in romance films? Would audiences see me differently? She revealed. Her words highlight an unspoken reality, the double standard in the entertainment industry. While male actors often continue to thrive in romantic leads after marriage, women face invisible constraints. Many actresses fade from central roles once they become wives and mothers. Learning from her predecessors, seeking new roles. Son Ye Jin admitted her career will never be exactly the same as before. Yet instead of despair, she draws strength from the journeys of her predecessors. I look at Yoon Yeong, Kim Hee-ae, Jeon Do-yeon, Kim Hae-soo. Their careers show that at every stage of life, there are roles only we can play. This perspective is crucial. Rather than clinging to her nation's first love image, Son Ye Jin is preparing to embrace new kinds of roles. Korean cinema increasingly demands stories of mature women with real-life complexities. Just as the older generation proved that age cannot confine artistry, Son Ye Jin now stands ready to become the next bridge. BIFF 2025 as a mirror of change. It is no coincidence that her reflections came at BIFF, a global stage where diverse voices in film intersect. With 328 films from 64 nations, this year's festival is a testament to Asia's growing cinematic influence. Within this landscape, Son Ye Jin's confession resonates beyond personal fears. It captures a larger truth about women in the arts redefining their place. By openly acknowledging her doubts about romance roles, Son Ye Jin paradoxically emerges stronger. True strength in art does not lie in concealing fear, but in daring to admit it. When art grows with life. Son Ye Jin today is no longer the young woman impatient to age. She has truly matured, not just in her craft, but in her view of herself. Her artistry now evolves in tandem with her roles as wife and mother. And perhaps this fusion will open a new chapter in her career. Audiences may still yearn for her romantic dramas, but they are also ready to embrace a different Son Ye Jin, experienced, nuanced, and unafraid to step beyond her old image. In a Korean cinema hungry for authenticity, she could emerge as a voice for a new generation of women, women who not only love but live fully in every role life offers. Conclusion. BIFF 2025 will be remembered not just for record-breaking film lineups or dazzling premieres, but also for the moment Son Ye Jin bared her hidden fears. Beneath the spotlight and glamorous gowns, what lingered most was the image of an actress courageously redefining herself. Her story proves that cinema is not written only in scripts, it is also shaped by the lived experiences of its artists. And Son Ye Jin's journey, as she herself put it, is still being written, not only for herself, but for the ever-expanding role of women in contemporary art. At the Busan International Film Festival, BIFF, 2025, Son Ye Jin did something few top stars dare to do. She openly admitted her fears that marriage and motherhood might jeopardize her acting career. For an actress celebrated as Korea's first love and admired across Asia, such vulnerability was not only surprising, it was groundbreaking. Speaking at the Actors House session on September 18 in Busan's Sohyang Theater, Son Ye Jin reflected on her journey with unusual candor. After getting married and having a child, I wondered if audiences would still embrace me the way they used to. Could I still take on romance films? Would people even want to see me in those roles anymore? She confessed. Her words struck a chord, not just because of her star power, but because they exposed an uncomfortable truth: women in the film industry often face harsher scrutiny after major life milestones, while men rarely do. The hidden struggles behind stardom. For nearly 2 decades, Son Ye Jin has been one of Korea's most bankable and respected actresses. From the classic, 2003, to Crash Landing on You, 2019, her performance has built a reputation for emotional depth and authenticity. Yet behind her success lay an intense drive that sometimes bordered on self-destruction. Ambition and passion pushed me forward. I worked until I collapsed, then stood up again, she recalled. That ambition carried her through youth, but now her challenges are different. The industry that once adored her youthful image now questions whether she fits the mold of a romantic lead. Such questions are rarely directed at male actors, many of whom comfortably play romantic heroes well into their 40s and 50s. Searching for new ground. What makes Son Ye Jin's honesty compelling is not resignation, but her willingness to confront change. She acknowledged that her career will not be the same as before, yet she sees possibility in this shift. Drawing inspiration from veteran actresses like Hyun, Kim Hee-ae, Jeon Do-yeon, and Kim Hae-soo, she noted, their careers show that at every stage of life, there are roles only we can play. In doing so, Son Ye Jin subtly reframed the narrative. Instead of fearing the loss of romance roles, she suggested that maturity might open doors to stories with greater depth, complexity, and authenticity, roles that younger actresses cannot yet embody. Why her words matter. Son Ye Jin's remarks at BIFF went beyond personal anxiety. They highlighted an industry-wide issue: the double standards faced by women who marry, age, or become mothers. At a time when Korean cinema is expanding its global reach, her testimony underscores the urgent need for broader representation of women on screen, beyond the confines of youth and romance. Her vulnerability, paradoxically, has made her stronger in the eyes of fans. By admitting her fears, Son Ye Jin positioned herself not as a fragile star fading from the spotlight, but as a voice for change, an actress unafraid to challenge the structures of her industry. A career still being written. If BIFF 2025 will be remembered for its dazzling film lineup, it will also be remembered for Son Ye Jin's courage to voice what many actresses quietly endure. In doing so, she reminded audiences that art evolves with life, and that the most compelling stories often emerge from transitions, not stability. Son Ye Jin's journey is far from over. It is being rewritten, this time not only as a narrative of love and romance, but as a broader exploration of womanhood, artistry, and resilience. And in that rewriting, she may once again prove why she remains one of Korea's most essential and enduring actresses.